Take a Ride podcast. I'm your host here, Starks. You can find me on my Twitter handle. It's at Starks_industry. You can also find me on Instagram, One Close Hero. I'm not here alone this evening, running after maybe in the fantasy. I have the combo guard running the two, Jacob the White Knight. How you doing today, brother?
Doing well, brother. Thanks for having me. I'm ready to talk some. I'm ready to talk some sports with you. You know, it feels like a super long break with this All-Star game events, but it was definitely a fun night last night.
Oh yeah, it feels a little bit slower. This is like one of the things in fantasy where it's like fantasy basketball is taking a little bit of break, football is over, and then baseball hasn't started yet. So this might be the longest absence of fantasy in particular. So. Sunday indeed as well, guys. God bless you on this good Sunday afternoon in Ohio. And I think it's close to, is it more in the afternoon now there in Colorado there, Jake?
Absolutely, man. We got midday, 12 o'clock here.
Nice. And not only him, we have the wingman running the three, LT the Sage. How you doing today, brother?
Doing good. I'm on the small screen, but that's okay. I have big dreams.
Yeah,
that's inspiring.
That was inspiring, right, to be in the middle. But hey, you guys, listen. We have our YouTube channel back up. Check out newlifefantasy.com. Join the mailing list. Join as a member. It helps our site to continue to grow. If you guys haven't, make sure you guys subscribe to Take a Ride podcast. Go ahead and sub-zero that subscribe button. Hit the bell. It's dinner time. Comment below. Give us a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. It definitely helps us to continue to grow as well. This episode, we're obviously going to talk about streams, but I think it only makes sense to talk about the three-point contest, the slam dunking contest. I didn't see the skills challenge. I don't know if Jacob, I didn't think he caught anything. We were pretty much all busy, but I think some of us did see some reports that came out. But so in this podcast or this episode, it's just going to be strictly to the dunking contest a little bit and then to the streams because we got to help you guys get your punch of the week. And make sure you guys check it out. Jacob puts the hard work with the waiver wire /streams for those that do fantasy redrafts, dynasty formats, and also points leagues that a lot of you guys are accustomed to and get familiar with it on our site on newlifefantasy.com. So with that being said, I'm ready to take people on for a ride. LT, I actually passed you the ball to run the offense here a little bit on the All-Star game. I want to ask you this real quick. Was you able to catch any, well, not the All-Star game, but did you catch any of the skills challenge or three-point contest, dunk contest at all, brother?
I saw the dunk contest. I did not. I pretty much saw clips of both the three-point contest and the skills challenge. Seems like I think Bam Bam Adebayo won the skills challenge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah, so I'm glad I did watch that.
A few years ago, so I feel like it's just like a big man's game now.
It's crazy. It's crazy how it shows you how the game has changed, how the big men are the ones with a lot of these skill sets, man. And then I think our guy, Buddy Hield, won the 3-point contest. Yeah. Did he go up against Devin Booker or Bertans? Yeah, I think that was Devin Booker. So yeah, Buddy Hield ended up winning that one. Kind of upset. I feel like Lillard could have took this year if he was in there. But he did not. He was injured. But he was still there performing. Hopefully his thigh's okay. Hopefully he doesn't pull his groin up there. He didn't pull his groin up there on the stage. That would have been awful. But yeah, the dunk contest. I'm gonna pass the rock to you, Starks. Mm-hmm. What was the best dunk of last night?
Oh, you know what? And I'm sure we're going to talk the nuances. That wasn't the right word, but I'm not going to even try that word either. But there was a lot of different dunks, and to be honest, it had to been between Derrick Jones Jr., of course, and Aaron. We like to call him Eric Gordo here. Aaron Gordon has some good dunks, but I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think you talked about him, Jacob. That I think you had Derrick Jones Jr. winning this, correct?
Yeah, I did.
I think he had those dunks between both of those two is good. But I want to also mention this to the listeners. I wanted to I meant to actually tell you guys this as well too. I said on the solo episode this past week, I said I better not see a Superman cape and I better not see someone blowing out candles. And lo and behold, it happened. And I was just like, of course. And I forgot Dwight Howard was in the dunk contest. I was like, okay, it makes sense. It's okay to do props, but I just think some of the props is unnecessary. But to go back to, what you said, LT, I wanted to mention one of the guys, Pat Connaughton, right? I loved how he had Billy Hoyle's White Man Can't Jump outfit. That was so serious to me. I don't know if anybody's seen it. He had the backwards cap, just like Billy Hoyle, what they called him on White Man Can't Jump. Now, his dunks, it wasn't too bad, but I think the best dunk I had to see, it had to been maybe, I think it has to be Derrick Jones Jr. No. Might have been Aaron Gordon. I don't know if you've seen it, LT. He threw it off the side of the backboard.
Yeah.
No, he had to throw it off the side of the backboard, and he cupped it and did like not a windmill, but it was like a 360 type dunk. That was outrageous. But Derrick Jones had another solid one. I'll pass you right back the ball, LT. What was an impressive dunk to you, though, brother?
Yeah, I wanted to see who you felt like the best dunk was from, because a lot of people are in the same understanding that dunk by Aaron Gordon off the side of the backboard was the best dunk of the night. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of controversy because my man D Wade, I think gave him a 9. I think on that dunk.
Yeah.
Now my boy Wade, I feel you. I know you got a lot of Miami boys out there,
right?
But that was a full blown 10-11 dunk. If you try to harness what he did in your mind, your mind starts racing. Like, how do you even achieve that type of turn? No, he grabbed it, cupped it. No, two hand, just one hand, and just did it. It's crazy. So the fact that he didn't get a perfect score in that dunk is a travesty, absolute travesty. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed. So I only watched the highlights as well, and I was impressed. I mean, I really like Derrick Jones Jr. Windmill right in front of the free throw line. I thought that was sick. That was underrated. And then he did another one where it was kind of like a reverse in between the legs dunk or something like that. Like, I had never seen it. That was sick. But but like you said, Starks, that one off the backboard and like how like it was so graceful. It was so fluid. Like, Aaron Gordon's dunk was sick. But the one that he jumped over Taco Fall, I thought it was really I thought it was lame. Just because like there's a still of him like sitting on Taco Fall's shoulders, So it's like, yeah, I mean, like, he's super tall and it was a nice try, but he really didn't dunk over him, which is why he got a score of 47. I didn't think he should have done that. I thought it was extremely risky, and it didn't look, like, it was cool that he did that and he brought him on as a prop, but like he should have done something else. And now he's mad, and, like, Twitter world is mad, but, I was excited that my pick won, but I do think that Aaron Gordon should have won, And
let me steal the ball also on that. It was like the fans were like pushing him and egging him on to do the dunk over Taco, which is, I think he's 7'5" anyways. But let me to backtrack a little bit. LT, actually that cup dunk, I think they still gave him all 10s. It was that dunk in particular that I think Dwayne Wade, he might have gave it 8, or it was one of those dunks that gave it 8 or 9 in that it shouldn't. But I want to backtrack a little bit because this was a controversial, like, it was like, oh, Aaron Gordon should have won. But let me backtrack to, to the listeners and people that watched it. To be honest with you, Aaron Gordon, all the dunks was just about, as you guys have seen it, it was like 50s into the next round. All of them were doing 50s and it started Taylor off. And I think one of the announcers made a good point, their statement. They could have gave them both the championship because they were doing some outrageous dunks. But I will say this. One of Aaron Gordon's dunks to me, and I'm going to nitpick because it's like, the caliber dunks that they were doing, it was so solid that it's like you had to give him 10 automatically. But one of the dunks he did, I think he jumped over someone and did like a double clutch dunk. It was cool. It wasn't worth a 10. It was like, I was like, I feel like a 9 should sneak in there. And this is before they went into the overtime dunking whatever contest. And this is the second dunk that he did. And I was like, I think we got to give this to Derrick Jones Jr. like at this point in time, right? And that's what I was cool with that. For that cost, right? But the last dunk that they both did, especially how you had mentioned, because the last dunk Derrick Jones did, I believe, was that jump from the foul line windmill dunk, and Aaron Gordon was the one that did that dunk over Taco Bell. But you know, I know Taco Bell. But essentially, going back to long story short, I think overall it was a great dunking contest. And Derrick Jones Jr., one more I will say is he did a dunk. I think it was Chance the Rapper or whoever it was. He backboard, and he did it between his legs and did, I think, a windmill, and he did a dunk on his left hand. Like, every dunk that I see Derrick Jones Jr. is just like, it's so fast, and he hits it. He hits that rim so hard. So to me, it wasn't really. It was more controversial at the end, but honestly, I felt like Derrick Jones won after you had to close up the 2 dunks versus doing. Any last impressions to team?
I guess my biggest thing is that the dunk with Derrick Jones Jr. for the free throw line. To me, it like, I don't know. I've seen those before. So,
sure.
And yeah, he added a windmill. Okay, cool. I don't. That dunk to me wasn't like that wasn't like crazy to me, because I feel like I've seen people do that in game. I've seen people jump, and it would have been better for me if he would have actually jumped from the free throw line or behind the free throw line. He was mad at himself. I remember, I think, looking, he was mad because I think he was trying to jump before the free throw line and do that. And then, yes, I would have been like, man, but he had a foot inside, and I've seen that a couple times. So. But yeah, no, both of them did great. Nothing against Derrick Jones, but I feel like out of all the dunks, and this is just how the scoring goes, right? You have to do it all. You know, all your dunks have to be good. But the best dunk of the night to me was that Aaron Gordon dunk, and so it kind of makes it feel kind of sour. But yeah, that's all I got on that.
Yeah.
All right, and last thing I was going to say too, because it looks like Shaq wasn't a judge either. I thought it was when you miss a first dunk that you're supposed to automatically get a point deducted. No, they still gave 10s out, so that's something to keep in mind moving forward. But listeners, we'll go ahead and get to the streaming articles that, like I said, Jacob puts the hard work on newlifefantasy.com. It's a shorter slate of games this week. Obviously, the All-Star break that is going to happen. By the time you guys hear this podcast, the All-Star game will probably be over. But for the games this week, there's no teams playing 4 games. There's only one team playing 3 games, which is Chicago. Jacob, I'll pass you the ball on the schedule and obviously the top players that you have on your streams list for the week, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. So if you have any Bulls, floating around your waiver wire, I would definitely pick them up. Even though we have a chance that Wendell Carter Jr. will be coming back, which would significantly cut into any streamers there, like Luke Cornett. He would immediately go to the wire if Carter Jr. is back. But yeah. If we want to go to my top 5 streamers here, I got Dante DiVincenzo. He is my top streamer this week. He plays on Thursday here. He is a 69th ranked player over the past week. He is averaging 14.5 points, 6 rebounds, 1.5 steals, and a half a block while shooting 50%. And he's also playing 27 minutes over that span, which is huge. And he faces the Pistons and the 76ers, so he should have a great week. And then second here on my list is LT's boy, Trevor Ariza. Now, the news of Lillard missing 1 to 2 weeks came out pretty late after I put this up. So if I would have known of Lillard's injury, he probably would be number 1 here, but I still think that Dante DiVincenzo will do really well. But Trevor Ariza I'm going to predict that he's going to be well inside the top 50 for the next week or 2, or as long as Lillard is out. Over the past week, even with Lillard, he is the 13th ranked player over that week. You know, he's averaging 13.3 points, 4.3 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 2.7 steals, 1 block, on 58% shooting, all while playing 34 minutes. I mean, this guy does it all across the board, and with more opportunity, he's gonna have a great week. So I would definitely look to pick him up. He faces the Pelicans and Pistons this week, who are easier matchups for him. Third here on my list is Dorian Finney-Smith. Now he is a 3-and-D guy who's getting a lot of minutes. He's getting you he's getting you 2 threes a game, a steal, and a block. So he is definitely giving you that 1-1 threat here over the past few weeks. And then 4 is Damian Lee. And I've been pounding the table for this guy to be on everyone's roster, despite the inconsistencies. He is the de facto starting shooting guard for the Warriors for the rest of the season. Now, there are rumblings of Klay Thompson coming back and Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry seems a lot more doable for him to come back around like mid-March or something, but I still wouldn't count on it. But if Klay Thompson does come back, of course, Lee goes to the wire, but there's no definitive word. So if Lee is floating around your waiver wire, pick him up, because he is a 33rd ranked player over the past week. He's averaging 18 points, 3.5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.5 steals on 50% shooting, and he's playing over 31 minutes a game. And then lastly, we got Jordan Poole, who just entered the starting lineup for Kai Bowman. And even though he's not the primary ball handler, he was given the starting point guard duties. But he only got you 3 assists that last game he started, but he did get you 12 points. He got you 3 rebounds. He's been averaging 12 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and half a steal over the past few weeks. So I would definitely look his way in deep leagues and some shallow as well. And I forgot to say, Damian Lee and Jordan Poole are both facing the Rockets and Pelicans this week. So it's going to be fast-paced games. So I would definitely hop on that bandwagon if they are available.
Nice solid breakdown on that. I want to also say, kind of going down the list right there, LT, that's perfect. Malik Monk, and I'm actually going to ask us all this question because I've got so many Malik Monk questions in regards to this. So it's like, let me just pass the ball right back to you there, White Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Monk or Luke Kennard from the free agency?
I think you're asking the wrong guy, because I don't believe in picking up. I don't think that Luke Kennard's going to bring that much value once he does come back, even though it's like the Pistons probably, will use him. But this injury has been super weird. So I don't trust his knee will cooperate for the rest of the season. I believe the Pistons were trying hard to trade him over the deadline. So I don't think they believe in him, and I don't think he's going to bring that much value. So I will go with Monk here, just because he has more opportunity and he's on a wasteland team for sure.
Nice. And LT, I got enough. I'll kind of just go over some of these, pretty much a lot of these listener questions on this stream's article. So LT, if Rui Orochimaru was in the free agency, or Malik Monk was in the free agency, who do you pick up, man?
Rui Hachimura, the Rui Hachimura, the Hachimura. I would pick up Hachimura in that situation, only because I do trust the both of these guys are offensive focus. So I would actually go with Hachimura there, just because I like his opportunity on the Wizards a little bit more. Just to answer the last question. Luke Kennard can't be trusted, and my thought process moving forward for listeners and for us here is that we're getting into crunch time after the All-Star break. You're looking to try to win games, and you can't be messing around with people who are injured, knees, etc. And Malik Monk has proved to be on the court providing value, and Luke hasn't. So. But Rui, I like Rui's upside a little bit more. He hasn't. I think he hasn't been hurt since that extended time frame he was out earlier this year. So I like Rui better than Monk, but if Rui's out there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's one more question, and I'll tackle it here. So, and put these guys in order: Derek Favors, Larry Nance, or Honcho Hernan Gomez. Oh my gosh, it's a tough. I mean, you would think Derek Favors, but honestly, I'm too scared with his injury concerns, man. So he's really in the back of the bus for me. As far as Larry Nance and Honcho Hernan Gomez, do you believe Nance is going to get the time? I mean, you think he would, but Drummond's there, Kevin Love's there, but it could be load management at any time, and maybe Larry Nance gets his time. Juancho Hernan Gomez, to be honest with you, he's looked pretty good. He's getting the starters minutes. We know that Karl Anthony Towns is out. And again, for those that missed on a lot of, last few episodes going ISO there, Towns is going to be out for, a few games. And so for short term, Juancho, long term, Larry Nance Jr. is where I stand. But as far as Derek Favors, I am surprised to say that he's in the back of this list. That's where I stand. Now, as far as Luke Kennard or Malik Monk, going back to that question real quick, I think you guys touched up on that well, and LT, you touched up good on the Orochimaru, Rui Hachimura question on Monk. I'll say this real quick on Monk. Malik Monk is a very popular addable player right now because I know he's been hot here recently. But the thing is, when you get someone like that, you got to be prepared for inconsistencies. Exactly. Because Malik Monk is definitely a person to bring that. Now, did I see some inkling thoughts of potential, comparison to Sweet Lou a tad bit? Yes, I did. But it's just like I said, it's just going to be all about consistency. As far as him going, maybe he gets the 25 plus minutes a game, whether he comes off the bench or not, as long as he's getting those consistent minutes. If you're in a deeper format, to me, in a deep format, he's an automatic grab. In a shallow 12 to 14 man, you got to just play it under your discretion. Just kind of like what LT said. You don't have time to play around. This is the time that you need to start making sure that these ads make sense to get a championship. So moving back forward, we touched up on Monk on this list. That's who I wanted to talk about. But LT, I'll pass you the ball. Is there any guys that on Jacob's nice article here that you want to talk up on his streaming list?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about two real quick. The first ones I'll talk about is the only Curry that matters. I know. There was talks about the lesser brother earlier about getting some 5-on-0 work earlier, but we don't care about Steph. We care about the guy without the T, and that's Seth Curry. He's been hot. He's been hot as LUKA has been out. He's been playing well, and to be honest with you, I like him when LUKA comes back. I like him come back. He's been kind of the 3-point manning guy with what's our guy's name? Starks over there. Garlic Jr. Yeah, Garlic Jr. Hardaway Jr. has been taking the show, but Seth's been putting up pretty decent value as he's 14th on this list. Right next to him is the guy I want you guys to go run and pick up for the next couple of weeks. That's Gary Trent Jr. Yeah. GTR, more like GTA, to where he's going to steal the ball and steal the points from the. Ooh, yeah, you like that. I know you like that one. I know you like to take it. But he has the opportunity this coming week. I won't be surprised if he starts at point guard. I wouldn't be surprised. He may still come off the bench, but he should have more than 30 minutes each game.
Wait, I think I just got that. Was that Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, man.
That took me about 20 hours later. Cool. All right.
All right, cool. It was actually good. I was actually surprised myself how good transition that was. But anyways. Thanks, man. But he might start. If not, he's still going to get well over 30 minutes, I think, with the way that all these injuries are going. So I pick him up. If you need 2 weeks of good production in point guard, shooting guard area, pick him up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And I'll pass you back the ball, Jacob, if there's some other guys you want to touch up on your nice list there, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. So those were beautiful ads, and I would also I don't have him on my list, but Anthony Simons is definitely worth a speculative pickup as well. He scored over 20 points last game and actually had some assists and stuff. So I think he will play a valuable point guard role as well as long as Lillard is out. And then we have to round out my list here. Royce O'Neal is always solid. Andre Iguodala. That's a guy, if you need some defensive stats, like a 3-and-D guy, and he's going to get minutes. And then Wesley Matthews has graced my streamers list for the first time since week 2. I said that he would never go on my list again, but here he is. He's back because he's got, he's got some good matchups. He's giving you some 3-and-D. He might burn you, but he's worth a look because he's available in 100% of every single league. So I would definitely give him a look. And then as we go on to the points league streamers, I got the same guy, Dante DiVincenzo, who's available in a lot of leagues. So if you need some scoring punch, some consistent scoring punch in points leagues, give him a look. And then I got Daniel Tyus. I got Darius Garland, who I always in a points league will say, if you are getting a lot of minutes, then that is a high floor to put up okay stats in a points league. Like Darius Garland will be inconsistent as all, but he's getting 30 to 40 minutes a game. So he's bound to get you 20 to 30 points league points. And then I got PJ Washington, Ish Smith, the aforementioned Malik Monk, who has just been on a tear. And I didn't mention this, but over the past 2 weeks, huge sample size. Over the past 2 weeks, he's been averaging 15.6 points, 4 rebounds, 2.1 assists, while giving you some low-end stock stats, and he is playing almost 30 minutes per game. So you got to ride that wave while it is raging. And then to round out my points league streamers list, I got Maxi Kleber, Jordan Clarkson, who has been on a whole nother level. Yeah, he has been on a tear. So, I mean, he has been revitalized getting out of Cleveland. I don't know what that's about. But he's with intent, with conviction. So Jordan Clarkson, you got to ride that wave too. And then Thaddeus Young, just because he has 3 games this week, so that's extremely valuable. And Dorian Finney-Smith. So that rounds out my points league streamers there, Starks.
Nice. So we'll go into your waiver wire pickups, and real quick, if Marquise Chris is somehow available in your league,
right.
He needs to be automatically added. Honestly, he's probably a player that you're going to add him universally right now, because the only issue with him, as I mentioned before, but for the listeners that are new to the podcast, I thank you for the new listeners that's been coming into New Life and Take a Ride. It's really humbling and appreciated. So I thank you guys for that. Chris, he's always had the upside. The issue with him has been foul trouble and his bad behaviors on the court and just being out of shape and stuff. But out of nowhere this year, are you guys hearing a wind sound, or is it? Yeah. Anyways, can you hear me? Okay. All right. So Marquise Chris, I'll say this: since he's not making any fouls, the per 36 numbers he's producing is legit. He is a person that can get you some sneaky threes at point in time. He can also get you those blocks and steals. And, like I was saying before, Jacob, he got me hard because he picked him up in a very deep format that I tried to jump on a lot earlier, but unfortunately failed. So good job on that, Jacob. This is the type of player, listen, in Golden State, as they've been tuning into the band as far as a wasteland team, because that's what they are right now. If Steph Curry doesn't come back, and if Klay doesn't come back, and maybe they have more load management times, because where's their big? We expected Kevon Looney to do something, but it looks like Looney Tunes is actually having Looney Tunes problems at the end at home watching cartoons. I don't know. Maybe he comes in, maybe he doesn't. But the bottom line is, Chris, he's getting the time in the starting minutes. And when he gets out there, he produces, man. I'll pass you the ball there, LT, if you want to touch up on some of these waiver wire pickups.
Not too many. The one guy I want to talk about is Taz Reed, or Naz Reed is his actual name. He may hopefully he gets some extended look and extended minutes over there in Minnesota as Cat is out. Also, one of my early season darlings may still get some run, and that's Jabari Parker. As he's reached Marvin Bagley and Rashawn Holmes injuries, haven't been playing the greatest. I know Rashawn Holmes is dealing with an injury, so Jabari Parker jumps right in. I like his outlook, at least for the first couple of weeks. If you're looking to come out of the gates, high after the All-Star break, and you got Steph Curry down here already, man, doing his best. No, Steph Curry is doing his best Steph Curry impression, by the way. I just wanted to let you know that. But other than that, that's all. That's all I got. I'll go ahead and push the rock over to you, Starks.
Okay, yeah, I was going to steal it anyway. I'm sorry. So real quick, I also mentioned I have to juice this orange. I forgot I got powers back here now so that I can still be on the camera doing this with you guys. So as far as Marquise Chris, just to juice this orange a little bit more, like last week, he's a top 16 player, right? Mm-hmm. That's second round value. That's outrageous. And last couple of weeks, third round value, right? And the thing is, 2.5 blocks a game, pick him up. This is crazy, right? And the deep waiver wire pickups, just like Juancho Hernan-Gomez is worth a pickup. We've talked about her earlier in this episode. He's getting the minutes there, and he's not only just getting the minutes, but he's getting the starter minutes there. So I know LT had touched up on Taz Reed, or, we can call him Nostradamus too. That's fine. But, he's been doing well. And Thonmaker, I don't understand. He's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't understand what that is. He's been playing together with the Wood, Christian Wood. Get your bonfire out, right? He's joining the party a little bit. Not as good as Wiz. So I just want to let the listener know that reached out to me and said, what about Thonmaker? Yeah, he's definitely worth a pickup, but he's not better than Christian Wood. I'm sorry to, hurt your feelings of, giving you that, because I know you was believing Thonmaker was better. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Kevin Porter Jr., I'm going to just keep drumming up this band that, Jacob put on here, because Porter, he's getting the minutes now, regardless if he's coming off the bench. Cleveland, again, wasteland team. He's providing nice, solid stats, field goal percentage, and scoring points. And he's hitting threes at a decent clip. So this is someone not to overlook. In a deeper format, he needs to be, to me, added in all 14-man leagues or deeper. If you're in a decent position in a 12-man league, top of the standings, he's worth an add. And Jacob, I'll pass you the ball if there's anything else you want to touch up on your wire here, brother.
You guys touched up on all those players perfectly. The only player that I do want to mention that has been mentioned already is James Johnson. So I personally think that he's going to be a top 50 player while Towns is out, and that's strictly because of his stock stats that he provides. I mean, look, he's not going to get you points. If you want points, don't look his way. But what he is going to do is he's going to hustle hard. He's going to get 30-plus minutes a game, and he also plays center for the Wolves here. He got last game when Cat missed, he got 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. That is insane. That is league-winning upside. Even though, like James Johnson, it seems like he's been just wasting away on the Miami Heat bench. He got traded to the Wolves, thankfully, and I see him for the next 1 to 2 weeks being a top 50 player. And even if Cat comes back, it's a weird situation over there right now. But he was getting big minutes anyways, even with Cat there. So I still think that he can provide top 150 value with him there. But in the meantime, I would pick him up everywhere and spend a good amount of fab if you can, and stream him for the next 1 to 2 weeks, because LT said it's crunch time. And you guys, we need every single win before the playoffs, because some of us are either in the hunt, we're either in the playoff race, and we're kind of being, like we have some opponents just like nipping at our heels. So we need those streamers. We need, we need those James Johnsons to get us those steals and blocks. So just I would definitely look at this list and look at each schedule and take it seriously, because we don't have much time until the playoffs.
Yeah, and let me go ahead and say this. For those that didn't know, I said in the last podcast, I'm glad that you brought it up, Jacob. What if I told you, if you probably knew, if you didn't know, now you know, James Johnson's a black belt in karate. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And then, I think it's also kickbox. So his kickboxing record is 20-0. It's just outrageous. Wow. Listen, for him to pull out your prediction of top 50 value with obviously Towns being out, that's legit. I mean, maybe them hustle stats is what he's gritty and wants, right? Exactly. The black belt maybe helps there. LT, any last impressions there?
I was waiting for it, man. I was waiting for you to tie the black belt stuff in with the steals and blocks, man. Maybe that's why he can't score, right? Because he's too busy hand chopping bricks and then shooting bricks in real life. So maybe that's why he sticks with the he is a monster with those stock stats, and he is definitely a valuable glue guy, as we like to say. Yeah, that's all I got though.
Perfect. So we'll pass you right back the ball, Jacob, if you want to touch up on the players that be given some solid top 100 and better production this past week.
Yes, top 100 production. We got Tim Hardaway Jr. He's been doing well. All the Maverick shooters have just been shooting lights out. We already talked about Seth Curry. We talked about Tim Hardaway Jr. Just they are on a roll right now. We were talking about Jordan Clarkson. He is top 50 right now. Seth Curry, Furkan Korkmaz. Right when he had those 2 great games,
yeah,
I was asked on Twitter, "Oh, geez, is he a 12-team pickup?" I said, "You know what? Might as well speculatively, but I don't expect him to keep that up. Like, there is no way. Like, I can see him going back to the bench and getting, 13 to 20 minutes, because that was when Josh Richardson was coming back and he wasn't playing his full minutes. And then lo and behold, I think he got 1 rebound, 0 for 1, and played like 10 minutes. So it's like, you can't trust those flash in the pans bench guys who gets hot for 1 to 2 games. You have to see it over a bigger sample size, at least 3 games before you buy in. And then Trevor Ariza, I said on here he was top 75, but when I did the research, he was top 15. Ariza is going to get the job done here in the next few weeks. If anything, the stock stats. But if he's on fire, he can get you those threes too and points. He's just, like he can do it all, and he's going to get the opportunity. And then we already talked about Gary Trent Jr., top 75. Ish Smith, he's been playing. I think he's been hearing a lot of buzz that Shabazz Napier is coming for his neck. So he's been playing well. So I would give Ish Smith a look. We already talked about Thon Maker. Reggie Jackson continues to play and get plenty of minutes, but I will always say he's a much better points league player than a 9-cat player. I would much rather own him in points leagues. And then DeAndre Hunter. I was just telling a listener that he's going to be probably the most consistent. He won't be exactly consistent, but his minutes will be consistently 30-plus minutes a game. And he does get you some stock stats and some threes. And the Hawks want to develop him with Trae Young, so they're going to play them together a lot, along with Huerter. So I like DeAndre Hunter's rest of season outlook as well. So that covers my top 100 there, Starks.
Nice. I was going to say, it looks like they put a cork in Korkmaz because that was just only a couple of games that he exploded, and then they put the cork on it, unfortunately. But LT, actually, before I pass you the ball, LT, I like to dig very deep. I know Jacob has his deep waiver wire ads that we'll touch upon. But I didn't expect this guy to be on there, which he's not. That's perfect. I like to even go deeper into the waters, as Lewis was saying, with the Sharks. Or actually, there's no Sharks in there available because these type of players are really garbage can players. So a player I want you guys, the listeners, to keep in mind. This guy's name is Jalen McDaniels. I might call him P.F. Chang's. This guy is a player in Charlotte that's a power forward. Shut up, LT. That might be P.F. Chang's. Hey, listen, it's good food. Listen, by the way, if you guys are not familiar with that. But Jalen McDaniels, he's been a player that is getting minutes. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to be a world beater. This is for the deepest of deep formats. I'm talking about Deep Blue Sea. If you guys seen that movie, which I think was terrible. But the last game that he had was 23 minutes, 2 snipes, got 10.6 rebounds and 2 steals. The thing about him, which you're going to like, is the hustle stats. And what, the gentleman we like to talk about here is the stock stats. He can provide you some solid back end stats that matter, the blocks and steals. I think he's been averaging, when he came out of, the G League, right, recently, he had 1.9 steals and 1.9 steals in 1 block. So this is something to take in consideration. He was averaging close to 16 points and close to 8 rebounds and like 2.5 dimes at the same time. But is this going to translate in the NBA? I wouldn't say that. Is he going to get the minutes? Maybe. We know Charlotte is one of those iffy teams. But if he continues to get the minutes, I know the coach had mentioned that he's gushed over him just a tad bit. But for those in a very deep dynasty formats, just take a grab and speculative ad and see what happens. But I'll pass you back the ball there. LT, if there's any players you want to touch up on Jacob's deep waiver ads there, brother.
We've talked about a lot of people on this list already. Good to see Wesley Snipes make a comeback. One of my guys, Kobe Jack Cheese, it's white, 19% as well. I like him I like to pick him up in Dynasty leagues just because I do think he is going to be the next man up there. But other than that, we also have Culver's ice cream. I love my ice cream and Culver. I kind of don't like the I can't think of his name right now, but the most recent trade move they made for D'Angelo Russell. I think Russell kind of pits into Culver what he was doing, but Culver still is going to produce and still get time. So hopefully he can learn to work with Russell there and continue to produce like he was. And that's all I got. Over to you, Starks.
All right, Jacob, I'll pass you, do another fast pass to you. Is there anybody you want to touch up on your deep ads there, brother?
Yeah. Really quick, Markieff Morris, he is a consistent source of streaming, and he is available in a ton of leagues. And I feel like he's underappreciated, but also he seems to be hurt a lot. But whenever he is healthy, I just always see his stat lines being anywhere from like 14 points and 9 rebounds, 1 to 2 threes. He gets the job done whenever he does play. So whenever you are in a bind and need a streamer, I would definitely look Markieff Morris's way. And then everyone else we pretty much touched up on here. A few names that we haven't mentioned is D'Anthony Melton. He's been getting a lot of minutes. Kyle Anderson for the Grizzlies have been getting a lot of minutes. And other than that, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he always shows up on my streamers as a 3 and D guy. Rajon Rondo's been getting a lot of assists lately. And you guys touched up on all the other guys very well. So, yeah, that's all I got for the Deep League waiver ads. If you guys want to see the other names on that list, you guys can look on the screen, obviously. But if you are listening through a podcast, please give our article a look on newlifefantasy.com.
Nice. LT, do you want to say any last impressions of this article here or any streams, brother, at all?
Other than the fact that it's well made as usual from our guy White Knight. Amazing information. Look at this waiver wire pickup. You read through this, you're already 50 to 75% ahead of your competition. So just love to see this type of content. It's quality content, and that's all I got, man.
Nice. So we'll kind of transition to the clutch shots here. Listeners, real quick again, make sure you guys subscribe to newlifefantasy.com. Join the mailing list. Join as a member. Helps us to continue to let this brand grow. Make sure you guys subscribe to Take a Ride podcast. Let your friends and family know that we're available and we're out there. We're just trying to get our name out to definitely help you guys out there, especially with fantasy basketball. We don't just expertise, whatever the word is. We like to touch up on fantasy baseball and football. Fantasy baseball is around the corner. Micah is a strong person in fantasy as well as Jacob and myself. LT he just don't want to put the time into it. I get it. But he's going to get him. We're going to get him in the league, the listener league anyways, right? We'll find a way to get him in. Lewis will probably convince him. Maybe that'll help.
Maybe.
But yeah, so we are going to have a fantasy baseball league in that. Make sure you guys subscribe. Sub-Zero that button, subscribe button on YouTube. Hit the bell. It's dinner time. Comment below. Give us a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. It's back up. So the clutch shot I will actually take here this evening, morning, afternoon is going to be DeMarcus Cousins, and it looks like they're talking about him maybe potentially coming back this season. I think it's more if he comes back, it would be to me maybe the playoffs. But there is some reports that he could potentially come back this season. So I know the question is, Starks, do I stash him? I mean, honestly, I wouldn't. The only way you should stash him in a shallow league is if you can put him in on your IL. But I feel like you probably have someone else in your IL, or if you're in the top of your standings. If you're in the bottom of your standings, don't waste your time, right? So that's my clutch shot. I'll pass you the ball there, Jacob. But if you have a clutch shot here, brother.
Absolutely, Starks. I have two quick shots there because you inspired me there to, if you guys have if you guys are in the playoff hunt, I urge you to drop any guys that can't go in your IL spot. There's no reason to hold them because they're not going to be handy for you once you're out of the playoff race. You need all the healthy bodies that you can, and you need to go all in to try to get that last playoff spot, even if it means sacrificing a player that might come back later. Like at least you are in the playoffs, even if you lose that person. So if you don't have the IL spots, just stream and just go all in for these next few weeks. And then my second clutch shot, I have to give ups to the University of Colorado Buffaloes. They are ranked 16 in the nation, their basketball team. They have been killing it, and they just got off they just beat a conference opponent by 22 points, Oregon State, and ranked 16 in the nation, which we haven't been ranked in forever. So I'm really stoked for this year. And if you guys are thinking about the NCAA tournament, definitely give the Colorado Buffaloes at least a win or two, just because they have some players and they have a second round grade prospect, Tyler Bay, who has been killing it. So definitely give the Colorado Buffaloes a look when you're filling out those March Madness brackets. Let's go Buffs.
Okay, yeah, my clutch shot. I'm gonna expertise on my guy Damian Lillard. Gonna give him a clutch shot for him. He wore a Mamba Forever jacket on his performance yesterday, so much respect to him. Also, got finally proposed to his longtime girlfriend, and they are getting married now. So congratulations, Damian Lillard. As you guys know on this podcast, and all you guys, all your fans, all of our listeners out there, he's my favorite player. His mentality when he gets to the court, and even when I listen to some of his raps and his ideologies, I do like all of that. I do understand it, and so he's my favorite player. So just big ups to him, congratulations to him, and that's my clutch shot.
Did he come out with some new shoes too? I wasn't sure if he did.
Yeah. The most recent ones are these bad boys right here. If you're not loading, because too much drip starts.
Okay, that's
a long term to learn.
Oh, there it is. Are you going to get you some LT?
I don't know, man. I haven't balled in so long, Starks, man. Like
same.
I haven't, man. We need to get back on the court. Hey, listeners, man. The Starks to Sage connection used to be hype, man. Used to be hype.
Yeah, it used to be. What they called you, like you had the similarities like Paul Pierce on the court or something like that?
Yeah, I play like Paul Pierce. Yeah, like I was slow, but somehow I got past people. Basically, it was which I don't know. Now looking back, I don't know if that was a good thing or bad thing, but I was like slow, but like I got past people. I have a long stride, so that's about it.
Nice.
Hey man, it was sweet to me, man. All right, so listeners, or was it?
Was it?
No, it was sweet for real. I think.
Appreciate it, man.
Nice.
No problem. If you guys haven't checked out, I did do a Victor Oladipo article as well. Yeah. So take a quick look at that, is for the Dynasty. And if you guys are familiar with the Masked Singer, he's on that page. I was about to put something on there. And also, if you guys haven't seen, I know LT's familiar with Granger Danger.
Oh, yes.
There's a quick mention of him on that article that I think it only makes sense in the Pacers article. So guys, check that out on newlifefantasy.com. And also we'll be having more content coming soon. With that said, you guys, we love you so much. God bless you. You can follow me on my Twitter handle. It's at Starks_industry. You can also find me on Instagram, One Closing Hero. Jacob, where can I find you at, brother?
Thank you, brother. You can find me on Twitter at Ain't Done Yet, and done is spelled D-U-N-N-E. I'd love for you guys to follow me. Thank you guys for all the love and for all the support, for sure. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and God bless.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at SageDeckWhereX. The X is always silent, by the way. Fantasy Central. He is our baseball expert as well. Glad you're feeling better, brother. At Fantasy Logician. And you can check him out for any baseball. I know it's coming up quick, and when you want to get ready for those baseball seasons. Some of us may or may not be may or may not join a league this year, but the quality information you can get from this guy and from our podcast, you can't be outmatched. And then that's pretty much it. It's crazy seeing Danny Granger. I will say that Granger Danger, one of the great Pacers, man.
Yeah, man. He disappeared once Paul George became like a superstar, right? It's crazy. But again, listeners,
man.
we love you so much. God is good. You guys have a good evening, morning, afternoon, and take a ride.